weekend, gents. This weekend, Arsenal take on West Ham. How do we see that game going? It potentially a tough one for the Gooners, but they've been in much better form recently. They absolutely battered and dominated your team, Hassam, last Sunday. Do you see them doing that to this West Ham team that are struggling?
Wow, you had to just say, you just had to throw that in there.
Said
Like,
FU, basically.
Battered your team.
Good one, Terry.
Liverpool, Burnley, or Arsenal, West Ham?
Yeah, he said West Ham, Arsenal.
Oh, no, sorry, because he said they battered my team. I thought you were talking about the Liverpool Burnley game.
That's how shook you are by it. You couldn't even concentrate after I mentioned it.
Threw him off. Good shit, Terry.
They hurt you bad, didn't they?
No, they didn't hurt me because pre-game I said we didn't need to win. I said it was their
They hurt
final.
Curtis. Have you seen Curtis Jones today saying that celebrating winning games is a Liverpool thing? Like, you guys are moving.
You first of all, you have yoga stretched the fuck out of that statement right there.
That's what he said.
You know that's not what he said. That is the worst paraphrasing in Terry's history. You have
the idea of me doing yoga and Hassan watching me now is going right through my head.
I don't know why you're thinking
of paraphrase something so badly your whole life.
That's what he said. He went, celebrating's our thing.
No, but Terry, I told you this last time. It's not the celebrating is not the problem. It's who celebrates. I've explained this perfectly before on to you, but you just refuse to acknowledge it. It's who celebrates. If Pep, Klopp, Ancelotti, people like that celebrate, no one says anything, bro. Like, honestly, no one cares if they celebrate. If Klopp celebrates, it's because he's won stuff. Pep, same thing. If Arteta wins something and next year he does these celebrations, genuinely, no one's going to say anything. It's actually who's celebrating, not the fact that they are celebrating. So that's what I'll say. Anyway, Arsenal, West Ham. Look, I'm not saying this because Arsenal beat us and people think I'm salty. I'm not salty at all. Listen, I was the only straight facts guy in the whole summer that said Arsenal are going to win the league. I was the only, and people accuse me of twerking for Arsenal anyway. So I don't know how I can twerk and be salty towards a club.
At the same time. Being accused of twerking. What a shame. It's not like you do this all the time.
There you are, Spurs twerker. Let's not open up.
There you go. Expose yourself.
There you go. Bissouma is better than Rice. Saliba, Romero is better than Saliba. Onana is the best goalkeeper in the world. Anyway, so let's just move on rapidly. Moving on. So with Arsenal, West Ham, I think West Ham are going to come back after their. I swear they lost last week. West Ham, they did to Man United 3.
They lost us. Yes. They haven't won a game in 2024.
We smashed them up, bro. We smashed them.
This is not going to be a win for West Ham, but I think it's going to be a draw. I think West Ham are going to get something. It's going to be a Desmond. It's going to be a 2-2. It's happening. West Ham Stadium. I don't think Arsenal are going to get a penalty for Saka to miss this time. So I think it's going to be a tight game. West Ham will want to come back after that bad loss last week. And I think they do come back. I think, look, Arsenal obviously are in much better form than they ended last year in. It wouldn't surprise me whatsoever if Arsenal beat West Ham, but I'm just expecting some sort of reaction from West Ham. So I think it's going to be a 2-2 draw. And I think, all the celebrations that they done last week, if they end up not beating West Ham, they're going to generally be the biggest laughing stock this weekend. 100%.
Can I ask you, based on what are you saying this? Because you're saying I'm expecting a reaction from West Ham. I'm also expecting a reaction from Arsenal, not because they didn't win last game. I'm actually expecting a reaction because now they got to prove that we're not just here on a one-off where we smashed one of the league contenders. We're here to stay. So just like how we smashed Liverpool, we're going to go now and we're going to continue until the wheels fall off. So why are you expecting a reaction from a dead West Ham team with no Paqueta, selling a couple of their players, losing, as I said, to United 3-0, haven't had a single win in 2024, but you're not expecting a reaction from Arsenal?
Because that's the exact type of game that Arsenal usually drop points in. The scenarios you just described is exactly the games that Arsenal usually drop points in. I think, obviously with West Ham, they've been very disappointing lately. Like in this January was a very bad month for them. But I think they're gonna bounce back. They're eventually gonna bounce back. Look, by the way, genuinely, if Arsenal win, I wouldn't be shocked whatsoever. It's not like I'm banking on West Ham getting a result. None of that. I just think West Ham are like due a comeback result at a point in time, and I think it's gonna be this week. So You know, look, usually Arsenal do well in these games, but I just think West Ham are going to get something. So I think I wouldn't say they're going to win, but I think it's going to be a draw. I just see a 2-2 draw happening.
Do you know what I look at? If we just put aside how good West Ham are and how good Arsenal are form, the idea that West Ham beat them, for instance, 3 times in a season, or Arsenal failed to win at least one of their 3 meetings, the probability and chance of that alone makes me say Arsenal win. You know, sometimes if you'll get a team play each other, and they have really, it all intents and purposes, they played each other 3 times in a relatively short space of time for a season. Whenever that happens, very rarely does one team
Chelsea
win all.
beat City 3 times.
Yeah, it does happen. But then, you know, and they beat them, but they lost to them in the league. And then I remember they went on to beat them in the Champions League final. And it was like, oh, I'm so glad we didn't win that league game before. Because it's one of those things where at some point you're not going to keep winning in those head-to-head clashes against the team. So I just view it as, if you put everything else aside, I just think it's time now. It would actually be the 4th time on the bounce I haven't beaten them. I just think for that reason alone, Arsenal are going to pick up the points. I think they demonstrated on Sunday that they are resilient, they are mentally strong. They've upped their game, as in they're playing faster football. Just exactly, again, maybe it's a bit of confirmation bias here, but they're doing exactly what I expected them to do. Second half of the season, they're going to up the levels. I think they've kept some energy in their legs. I think they didn't exert themselves too much at the beginning of the campaign. Yes, it's great when you play at a million miles an hour and create a 4, 5, 6 point lead.
Define hindsight.
Divine hindsight. Sorry,
such an asshole.
That got me. That got me. So yeah, I just think look, listen, it's a long distance run, and we've seen, if you watch the Olympics and you watch long distance runs, we've seen a lot of people go off on a 10,000 meter run, and they're leading. They get to them last 2 laps, and they fall away. And I think that's what they ended up doing last year, both physically and mentally. Arsenal, I think this year they've approached the league. Although they want to win every game, we can't go into every match and burn ourselves out. There has to be an element of reserving some energy. We have to hold back a little bit. We're now seeing that come to fruition. I think they'll beat them. I think the game will be relatively comfortable, barring a hiccup. I don't know if it'll be a big scoreline. I'm going with a 2-0 win to Arsenal. But I just think that Arsenal are going to go on a very good run now. This would be their 4th win on the bounce. I don't know if they'll hit 10 or 11 wins on the bounce, but I think they'll get towards those sort of 7 or 8 numbers. And they're going to make a real go of this title race against you and Man City, in my opinion.
It is a title race. It is a title race. One thing, even Terry will tell you right now, and you know, like, he'll vouch for me. I've never ruled Arsenal out the title race to begin with. I've never said Arsenal not in the title race. I've said it's going to be a 3-way title race from the start of the season until now, and I stick by it. And even if Arsenal get a draw with West Ham, it's still a 3-way title race. People, there's a lot more still to happen in this title race.
Like, no, but it really dismisses the win that they had against you, though, which is why I understand where Terrace is coming from.
But how does
there's no way?
How?
I'll tell you, there's no way you pick up 3 points to your rival. No, of course, it doesn't take away the 3 points. But what is the point of picking 3 points against Liverpool and that not picking up the 3 points the game after? Where Liverpool, we all know you're going to smash Burnley. So what? All that is just to get a point, basically. That's what happened. If you really think of it, they would have 4 points to your 3. So all that hype, and they only picked up an extra point than you. They must do it. It undoes the Liverpool win if they don't win next game. And this is solely why I'm backing them to win next game. I don't think any way, after that performance, that especially Mikel Arteta, with the way he set up that team perfectly against Liverpool, he's going to fail a test against West Ham, who can't pick up any points. Sorry, not any points. They can't pick up any wins so far in this calendar year. There's no way. This team is so poor. As I said, no Paqueta. They're playing 3 in the back now. They're relying on just counterattack. Actually, I can't even say that because they tried to press us last game. They tried to play football, and we hit them on the transition. And one thing Arsenal did perfectly against you was hit you on the transition. There's no way Arteta, after the masterclass he put, in my opinion, in front of Klopp, he goes and he gets outdone by Moyes. If he does, I'll probably never respect him again. This is the most I've ever given Arteta praise. I've sat in on this platform a lot, and people accuse me of being an Arteta hater. If after all this he goes and he lets me down, Arteta, wallahi, I'm done with you. I mean, I don't care. It's not like I'm an Arsenal fan, but you're never going to hear a good word from me again. There's no way he can do
that. I think they have had the game played down as well, in the sense of a big thing, and rightfully so, is made about Man United's record against teams that start games in the top 7, top 8. We don't beat them away from home. So I know this wasn't an away game for Arsenal, but it was built up. Can they handle the pressure of playing a title contender in a game that would essentially end their title race if they were to lose, and they win it, and then it's twisted into it's just 3 points though. That wasn't the message before the game. Therefore, it cannot be the response after the football match. If it was that big and that important, it's more than 3 points from a psychological angle towards winning the league, because 100%. I think that side of things, I've seen it played down by a lot of people this week as just being 3 points. And it's
I'm talking about the West Ham one. The West Ham one is just 3 points.
It is. I would say it's more than 3 points, because you've got to cement. You have to cement that win as an example. And look, they also play after you and Manchester City. So the likelihood is, again, by the time they play West Ham, you're gonna be 5 points ahead of them again. I haven't even looked at the league actually today. If you guys win, which you should beat Burnley, you'll be on 2 points right now. You'd be 5 points ahead of them. Man City probably will be 3 points ahead of them. That puts pressure back upon them again. But I think that having got through the game, I agree with Staffy. I think having got through the game against you with all that pressure, I think that coupled with get a bit of revenge against West Ham. If they go into it with the right attitude and play at the pace they've played in the last 3 matches, Arsenal will win this game. And I think it sends a clear message that there's 3 teams.
I agree with everything you said. If they play that way, 100% they can beat. And that's why I just don't see why they won't. You're predicting win based on, you said it's the 3 results in a row they haven't picked up against West Ham. I'm saying I wouldn't be shocked as well if Arsenal beat West Ham. Zero shock whatsoever. I'm just saying, at the same time, you have to look at it from West Ham's perspective. Bro, they have to bounce back at some point in time. Like, a bounce back is due as well. So, like, my point still stands, in my opinion. There's genuinely a possibility that West Ham just step up, because it's been a while that they've been playing like garbage, to be honest with you.
Listen, West Ham do need a bounce back. I agree with you. But I doubt any of these players, after that defeat to United, are looking at this Arsenal game and they're like, guys, we can definitely bounce back in this game.
I think that results playing in your prediction as well.
What do you mean? What result?
Like the Man United game is playing in the background of your head as you make it.
Bro, because I'm sorry, bro. It's gonna piss off United fans. It's humiliating to lose 3 to us.
Sometimes they just turn up.
Bro, we don't score goals and we put 3 past you. That's embarrassing, bro. That's actually embarrassing. We put 3 past you with a 0.7 XG. That's embarrassing, bro. And now you're going to a better quality team.
We're no longer waiting on a miracle. It happens.
Bro, if I hear that, I muted this guy's name on Twitter today. If I see this guy, listen, man, I said it yesterday on your channel. I'll say it here. If I ever catch Sean Mills, bro, I'm punting him into the ocean, bro. Now I'm actually punting him into the ocean, bro. This B-Tech Hornswoggle, I've had enough of him, bro. He's a failed artist that's just trying to make a name.
Shall I send the clip?
No, if you do that,
oh my lord! If we play it on the football terrace,
this is why I need to stop working.
I checked as well. It's not copyright infringement. I checked it, and I haven't been copyrighted for it, so we're safe. I can actually generally send it.
I don't think they'll understand though, because no one understands here the hate I have towards this guy. This Sean Mills guy, he just pisses me off. You're a failed artist that is just making a name of being a meme. You're going to Old Trafford. Bro, how old is this guy, by the way? He goes to Old Trafford going to tell a 20-year-old, I love you. Bro, stop being a weirdo, bro. There's a reason he brushed you off after the game. He's a kid, bro. Leave him alone. Telling a grown-ass man, I love you. Come on, man. What are you doing here? This guy, bro. Wallahi, bro, if I catch him, is on site.
Catch him on site. Bless him. The new lot equal Hamza is what he's saying about City fans. Big up Terry, Hamza, and Staffy. Arsenal should sign Terry as number 8. No, I'll be no good for you, bro.
You meant to say
no
Sam.
good for you. Yeah.